What's good, people? We back at it for another episode, another word of the week. You know what it is. As always, I'm your host with the most, LJ. Back in here for another week. Getting it on this podcast. Man, let's start off, man. Uh, Summer almost here. Hope everybody had a safe Memorial Day weekend. Whether you was off, whether you had to work, what you had to do. Hope everything was good. Uh, man. Last night was crazy. The boy Damian Lillard ain't no joke, man. It's a shame Portland Trailblazers lost last night, but man, that was a hell of a performance from Damian Lillard last night. Man, but yeah, just had to get that off my chest real quick because that was crazy from what I seen. Double overtime, 55 points. Yeah, it's a shame they lost. Maybe they won if he had a little help, but that was crazy. Now, get into my word of the week. I think word of the week um, this week is empathy. The reason why is talk about a couple things. Now, Naomi Osaka, is one of the I think she's rated the number 2 tennis player in the world as far as women. I don't know if that's men and women, but I think definitely as far as women, she's rated number 2 in the world. I'm surprised she's not number 1 at this point, especially after she beat Serena Williams. Um, I think on the Grand Slam finals or whatnot. But she recently came out and she said she's gonna skip the French Open. Um, and a lot of great reactions, some bad, unfortunately. But so she brings up a really important topic, which is being brought to the forefront. She said she brought up mental health, how she really gets anxiety. She's not really comfortable talking to the media. And if you listen to her interview, she seems kind of shy. And that's just her personality. She says she's more of an introvert. She gets nervous, really. And but I think she does pretty well with it, though. And she's outspoken about important issues, especially in the Black community, for her being Black and Asian descent. But yeah, I think she's done a really good job, not just on the tennis court, but off it. But sometimes you just need to unplug because the mental health that's real. Like some people may not take it serious, but that's something that could be a real issue, and that's something that just can't be ignored. And we gotta have empathy to that, whether you a superstar or just a regular person. Like that shit matters. Like it really does. It don't matter how much money you got. You have no idea what somebody could be going through or what somebody's experiencing. So it's not your call to say it. It's really not. Um, and then Piers Morgan going to have the nerve to come out and call her a brat, saying, "Oh, she doesn't want to give interviews or be talked to the media, and she's being a brat." Bruh. She voices her concerns about mental health, and this is what you do. This is how people end up committing suicide. I'm not saying that's what she's gonna do because that's a bit extreme. I'm not saying that's what she's gonna do at all. But I'm saying shit like that type of energy is how people end up killing themselves. Like seriously, when you say shit like that, that shit is real, man. Like now, I've been an advocate for somebody who I think this generation is way too damn sensitive uh and about certain things. People are offended by everything, but this is not that. This is ridiculous. Like mental health is something that is very real. It's just as important as your physical health, if not more. Anyway, they both can go hand in hand. I mean, that's a topic maybe for another day. Something whether physical health. I mean, they both are important. Obviously, physical and mental health. I think, but that mental health has been brought to the forefront a lot, and it's necessary to be talked about because mental, you just never know what's going on with somebody's mental, especially like this last year with suicide rates going up. I talked about previously the girl in Buffalo that was missing. And she ended up getting killed. They say she committed suicide in Niagara Falls. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like you just don't know what people are going through. People may think they know, and everything that's being reported in the news or in that particular story might not be everything that's going on. You just don't know what's in somebody's head. Um, and it's real because I mean, let's be real. Life is tough. It don't matter if you got $0 to your name or $10 million to your name. This mental health is something like if you're mentally ill, that's a real thing. I'm not sure what Naomi Osaka's complete mind state is, but she kind of laid it out a little bit how she's more like she said she's more of an introvert. She kind of gets nervous around like giving big interviews like around the world, and yeah, it's part of their obligation to speak to the media, and I'm sure she knows that. Is part of her obligation, but that doesn't take away from the fact of whatever she has going on that could be real serious or something like part of her personality or whatever the case may be. It's not up to any of us to decide to call her a brat or she's being disrespectful. She's not like out here like some of the other like big time players who saying like, "Oh, I don't have to talk to you because I'm better than you." Where she's not on no shit like that. She's simply highlighting like, "Hey, um, I need to digress. I'm going through some shit right now, and it's up to only thing you can do is just say, "Hey, I understand and respect it." I absolutely respect it because I think to some degree, whether you or you definitely know somebody that's experienced mental health issues, or whether it's depression or sadness, whatever the case may be. Um, I think we all go through whether we want to admit it or not. Some people handle it better than others. But yeah, like life is tough, man. And if you got people that's going to try and bring you down even more, like you don't need them. People just need to shut the hell up. If you don't got nothing good to say, this is not a critique on somebody's game. This is you can't critiquing her for her comments she's saying about mental health. That's just completely disrespectful. So Piers Morgan is wrong for that. Like that's not right, man. Come on. Um, and yeah, it's really tough, and I think we all need to try to understand each other better. Um, Great way to come together, and we need to check on our people, our loved ones, because that mental health thing is a real thing. It really is. And that you just need to check on them before they end up gone. You just never know. So I hope Osaka's good. She's all right. Anybody out there experiencing mental health issues, whether you go get help, whether you professionally or talk to somebody close to you, I'm not telling you how to do any of that, but whatever you need to do to get in the right frame of mind, yeah, we need to have empathy for that and not call them brats or call them just call them out of their name or whatever it is for saying they need to take a step back because of mental health. Obviously, that's part of her job, yes, but you have no idea what she's going to, and it's really none of our damn business to speculate what she's going through. It's really not. So, uh, and then some people might look at it like, oh, we can't make exceptions to her for one person. No, I think she received some fines or whatever for skipping media press or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time players have skipped media or whatever for different reasons. But this right here, the mental health thing is something real serious, and we need to take it serious, like seriously. We don't want nobody hurting themselves or nothing like that. We just need to make sure they're in the right frame of mind because it's not just it can lead to stress physically because it could attack your mind, attack your heart even because if you're not in the right frame of mind, it's hard to focus, you know. So yeah, that's something that's real important. So you can't just ignore that. So definitely. Um, Now we'll talk about a couple other things. Now DMX just released a new album. called Exodus, and I heard him speaking about this before he passed away. Uh, it seems like yeah, there's some good tracks on there. He got a lot of features on it. Um, it just seems like late, like the last few years, DMX wasn't, because I mean, for like his first like 4 or 5 albums, DMX was out the gate. He was hot, and his music, the beats was on point, the lyrics was on point. But his later albums wasn't as um, and I still love DMX, but just being honest, critique here. Rest in peace to a legend, but honest critique here. So the later albums wasn't as good. They just weren't. Um, this album I like. I don't love it. I like it. I do like the album. Like it's a good album. It's not a great album like his first few albums, but I do enjoy the album and think yeah, I'm glad he got some they got the Griselda boys on there. He got Jay-Z and Nas on there. Um yeah, he got some he got some good tracks on there, good features. But overall, um I think it's a good, not great album. It's decent. I put it, yeah, it's decent. It's not something that blew me away. Like just being honest critique about it. And this is not a shot at no disrespect to DMX. Like I said, I love DMX. I know he's gone, rest in peace, DMX, but this is an honest critique on the album. It's decent overall, yeah. It's not like his first few albums, like which was absolutely amazing. Like the dark as hell is hot, and flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, and then our was X was actually my favorite album from DMX. A lot of people point to his first two albums I think is their favorite, but then there was X was actually my favorite DMX album. That album was absolute fire to me. Uh, then you got the Great Depression album, yeah, and so his first 4 to 5 albums are absolutely incredible, but after that it just seemed different. You could tell his voice is different on this one. Like I say he got some good lyrics on there, but overall, it's good, not great. My personal opinion. Even though I still love DMX though. Uh, now I wanted to talk about too Angela Bassett and Corey B. Vance. Um, are actually going to produce a series, limited series. I'm not sure how long, because when they say limited, is normally shorter than what regular series would be, but about the massacre that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, also known as Black Wall Street back then, of massacre in 1921. Now, there's been many massacres over the years in the U.S. That's not highlighted. It's not taught in our schools. Never has been. We actually, as you get older, you realize you actually taught a bunch of lies in school. Like one of the biggest obvious lies is that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And now, if you took history or social studies, whatever, back, I'm not sure if it's still being taught, but yeah, that back then, yeah, just if that's on your test, whether that's third or fourth grade back then, you really have to put down a lie to discover America. And this, but yeah, so many lies that's taught in these history books, and we ignore a lot of the truths. Um, for whether it's the great adventures, hide the slaughters of these many racist acts of American history. But it's something that's important and needs to be talked about. Um, Black Wall Street was uh, probably one of the richest, wealthiest um, black parts of the U.S. And these racist white folks went in there, committed violence, heinous acts for no damn reason. They was just hating on some black people minding their damn business, getting money. Um, yeah, and they committed murder and slaughtered people. And that's only the a small bit of it. So and I know there was a TV show that talked about it before. But this needs to be brought to the forefront. So this is dope that they doing this series about it. Um, yeah, because it's important that we need to highlight this stuff. And some people might say like, "Oh, that was these years ago," but no, we still experiencing racism to this day. And yes, we making progress, but we still clearly got a long way to go. And we not gonna be able to get everyone to, because I mean, it was in your head, was in your head. Um, and racism is not a thing that is you born with, is a taught thing. It's something you taught in the house. That starts in the household. So yeah, kids are not born racist. That's something you pick up and you learn whether you like it or not. Um, that's up, I think up to that person as they grow up to decide. Um, but yeah, it's about having empathy. Just like with the most more recently, with obviously what happened with Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, some people on his side, some people that weren't. I'm on the side of what we don't want to get it right. Just want to don't want people don't want to get it right. They just want to be right. And at the end of the day, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I'm going to be on the side of good, not evil. And Kaepernick was standing up for something, and that's good, regardless of your political affiliation, Democrat or Republican. I don't choose either. I'm not. I might like certain things from both parties, but I'm not a supporter of either. Um, I'm independent, but yeah, it's. I think it's at the end of the day, it's about recognizing if something is right or wrong. Whether it's the many racist acts throughout the years that's happened to Black people, the heinous acts that's happened to Asian people, which is wrong. You just got to point out what's wrong. If it's a if it's a duck, if it quack like a duck, it's a damn duck. So if it's wrong, it's wrong. So yeah, we got to point these things out, and it's good that we need to do something about these different things, and highlighting this Oklahoma massacre, which is one of the major massacres of this country, post Civil War. Uh, and there's been many, many more that's not highlighted as well. Uh, but yeah, this is a really important one, the massacre of Black Wall Street. But yeah, we got need to have empathy for these things, and it's good that we seeing people do something about these things. Use your skills, your talents to actually do something in this world to highlight these things and actually do something about it. And I love that Angela Bassett, Courtney B. Vance are actually using their skills, their talents to produce this series. And I think it's going to be dope. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, I know there's a show on HBO where I forget the name of it. Um, I don't want to say it wrong. I forget the actual name of it, but I know there's a show on HBO that talked about it as well. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, it's about understanding, recognizing when something is right and wrong, and actually speaking up on it and doing something about it. At the end of the day, people nowadays they love to cry, and whether you're on one side of the spectrum of the world or the other side, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Talk is cheap online. What are we really doing about it at the end of the day? Because all this stuff, don't. What's the point of wasting going back and forth with somebody? At this point, 2021, people are what they are. Some people, yes, and probably I think still need to be educated. And I think majority of Black folks are tired of educating white folks on the many racist acts. Like at this point, we just tired of it. So what's the point of wasting time? Some people, I think it's some really great, genuine white people out there. some great all races out there uh, that actually understand and want to do something about it, about the wrongdoings in this world. Um, at the end of the day, people are who they are, and it is what it is. It's up for you to decide. And some people do need to be educated, but um, on certain issues, and it's up to them to decide. You can't. People gonna be in their feelings about whatever, but you can't argue a fact. People, if you mad at the fact, say, "Hey, I can't do nothing with you." I mean, I ain't even gonna waste my breath. I'm gonna give you the facts. This is what it is. If you still up in antsy about it, you getting mad at a fact, hey, I'm gonna just leave that alone because you clearly don't get it, not trying to get it, and there's no point in wasting my breath anymore. So it is what it is. Um, so last thing I want to talk about before I get up out of here is I'm talk about a few TV shows real quick. Netflix, right? I ain't really been on Netflix in a minute. I ain't really had the time, but I was watching this show called Master and None, right? With Aziz. Um, I always thought he was a funny comedian, Indian comedian. I always thought he was funny. I like his stand up. But this show is actually really good. Um, I didn't even know the show was going on until this year. Saw it. I put on Netflix one day and I saw this was like, oh, new season of this show, and I watched. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do this. They like to maybe look at trailers before they actually get into it. That's what I did. So I'm like, oh, this looks good. So I checked out. It was actually pretty good. So yeah, started watching season one. So I know it's a new season this year, um, which I haven't even gotten to yet. But I'm on season two right now. Uh, I'm like wondering why it's only 5 episodes this time. The first two seasons had 10. Why is it only 5 this season? But yeah, it's funny. Um, and there's a really interesting episode in season two, um, where it's not even about the stars. I think the stars of the show are only in the beginning of the episode and the very end, so they're in it for probably about maybe a minute total, not even maybe. It's interesting. They highlight. And I was reading somewhere an article about why they made an episode like this called "New York, I Love You." New York, I Love You. I think it's in the middle of the second season. Uh, it was interesting that they made the episode. I thought it was maybe because normally when you see episodes like that, I'm thinking maybe it's a spinoff coming of it. But no, this isn't a spinoff. This is something that they wanted to highlight, give attention to like the regular people of the world, this, not just the watching all people dating, because this is about Aziz's life experiences, his acting, him watching him and his friends go out, date, and all this other stuff, their life, right? But it doesn't highlight the people, the essential people, right? Whether it's the guy, they highlight one of the guys that works at the hotel, talk about his life, and then they go to the girl that's deaf, and they give it to you from her perspective, where there's no audio you can hear it because it's from her perspective because she's deaf, she can't hear, and showing her do sign language. They're trying to talk to her. So she works in a store, and just getting it from her perspective. It's kind of weird for me because I like to hear audio. I don't want to hear nothing silent, but it was interesting that they did that, trying to give it from that girl's perspective. And then they highlighted the cab driver. And they're talking about these two girls talking about a movie that he wanted to see. And I'm like, damn, these people don't think about the cab driver. Um, yeah, it's real interesting. So that they highlighted that. You got to consider these people, like think about them rather than just yourself. Like whether it's talking about the movie and the ending and all that, to understanding a deaf girl, looking at it, trying to look at it from their perspective, because a lot of people they can't sit back and say, I wonder what they're going through, how they see things. And that's what they try to do with this episode, which is really brilliant, actually. Um, yeah, I enjoy the show. I'm gonna get into season three. I know I'm a little behind. This is season three, 2021. I know a lot of stuff has been delayed because of this pandemic. I gotta still watch. I know that show *Handmaid's Tale* is on season four. I started season one. I haven't really gotten to it. Haven't had time really, but yeah, it's a lot of good shows out there. And I think in the fall, there's gonna be a lot of good shows on in the fall. Um, Especially on Netflix. A lot of shows I'm waiting to come on in the fall, I believe. I don't know when I'm looking for Ozarks next season. Top Boy. I'm looking for that to come back. That show Dead to Me, I thought was a really good show on Netflix. Yeah, there's a lot of good shows. I think were delayed due to the pandemic. I think in the fall this year and maybe early 2022, so we're gonna start seeing these shows come back now. Um, yeah, a lot of good shows coming up. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that with Master of None. It's actually a really good show. Um, Characters, Aziz, is an Indian guy. Got a girl in there who's a lesbian. One of the main characters. She's funny on the show too. I forget the other guy's name on the show, but yeah, it's a good show. Um, Interesting perspective, but yeah, but yeah, word week was this week with empathy, and I thought that was an interesting way to tie that into about that episode, New York, I Love You, with those highlighting those different characters, trying to understand it from their perspective. I thought it was actually brilliant that they did that. Um, I'm not sure if there's been other shows like that. It probably has been, but I haven't really seen that before. But I thought it was interesting. But so yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Um, yeah, so yeah, remember we gotta understand each other, try to be empathetic and work together. That's what it's all about. All right, now I'm out.